King and Pawn Endgame study, the geometric race. The board is stripped to its bare essentials. A white king on the d4 square stands ready to shepherd his d-pawn to glory, while the black king on the f3 square lurks dangerously close. On the queen side, a lonely black a-pawn dreams of promotion. It is a study of precise calculation, where a single misstep in geometry transforms a win into a tragic draw.
The king-side pawns are locked in a silent embrace, leaving the decision to the running passers. The cinematic script. The game begins with the white king stepping precisely to the c4 square, seizing control of the critical d5 square while maintaining the flexibility to intercept the enemy pawn. Grandmaster proof. Had the white king erroneously moved to the c5 square, black would unleash the a-pawn to the a5 square. If white then pushed to the d4 square, black would thrust to the a4 square. Crucially, the white king on the c5 square would be unable to move to the b4 square to halt the intruder, forcing a race that evaporates the winning advantage. Responding to the correct opening, black pushes the a-pawn to the a5 square, creating immediate counterplay.
White advances the d-pawn to the d4 square, commencing the central march. The black king rushes to the e4 square, cutting off the pawn's path and threatening a blockade. Unfazed, white pushes the pawn to the d5 square. Black's king steps to the e5 square, shouldering the pawn and demanding a fight. White brings reinforcements, moving the king to the c5 square to protect the passer and prepare the next advance. Black seizes the moment to push the a-pawn to the a4 square, racing against time. White answers by pushing the d-pawn to the d6 square. Desperate to stop the inevitable, the black king retreats to the e6 square to blockade the promotion square.
White moves the king to the c6 square, effectively elbowing the enemy monarch aside. Black pushes the a-pawn to the a3 square, nearing the finish line. White pushes the d-pawn to the d7 square, one step from glory. Black pushes the a-pawn to the a2 square. The tension breaks as white promotes the pawn to a new queen on the d8 square. Simultaneously, black promotes the a-pawn to a queen on the a1 square. But white has calculated further. The white queen delivers a thunderous check on the e8 square. The black king is forced to retreat to the f6 square.
The trap snaps shut as the white queen slides to the h8 square, delivering a devastating check that skewers the king and wins the unprotected black queen on the opposite corner. The strategic battleground. The entire endgame revolves around the geometry of the promotion squares. While the pawns appear to be in a simple race, white's specific route allows for a skewer or X-ray attack on the long diagonal. The initial king move was not just about supporting the pawn, but about ensuring the resulting queen ending placed the black king on a fatal diagonal exposed to the h8 square. The final legacy. 1-0, a triumph of foresight where the final move was seen before the first pawn was pushed.